Malia is stressing out. I think she's mainly stressing out because she has to make the decision whether to stay or to go. I'm quite sure that that, as a human, is on her mind. She does have the option now to be with her son, because who knows when Natureboy will be getting out. I also want to update you. It was put in my comment section that Natureboy has an eviction, and there's a for rent sign outside the door now, where it wasn't before. So allegedly they're saying that there are two people that own the property, but they have a management company manage all of what's going on with the renting situation with any tenants that rent from that home. There are two investors that are Asian. They're overseas investors. So a lot of people say, well, why hasn't he been evicted? Sometimes investors don't want to deal with all the hassle of getting involved with the tenants. You know, it's an investment. They want to deal with the money aspect of it. So they hire a management company to deal with that. So the management company is dealing with this Natureboy situation. So what I'm thinking, and I'm going to get into depth about 𝗪𝗪, but I'm going to let you guys listen to the video, and I'll be back with the rest of my commentary. But before we go into the video, I just want to say that you have to understand, if there's a for rent sign, they're there buying time. They know that if they refuse to leave, that they're going to have to be dragged into court, and it's going to buy them time. Usually 9 times out of 10 when people do this, that's because they're really not prepared to move in 30 days and they need more time. That's usually majority of the time what the situation is. There's other situations where people refuse to leave. It could be because it's a slumlord or something like that, but they're buying time, and they know that if they refuse to leave on the date that is required for them to leave the home, that they don't have to pay rent, and they're going to be dragged into court. That is saving them whatever that rent is on that rental. They can pocket that, save it up for Natureboy's legal fees and canteen. And I believe that's what they're doing, besides them doing these downloads like 𝗪𝗪's up here doing, clowning. But I'm going to let you listen to the video. I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
Peace to all the gods and goddesses here in Chance and Opportunity. Welcome back to the Lighting in Mind. Welcome back to learning about knowledge of self, understanding who you are, and not understanding who you are at the same time, because you're unconceptualizable. So today we're going to be talking about, did God make man, or did man make God? Did God make man, or did man make God? Who told you about God? Who told you about God? Was it your mama? Was it your grandma, grandpappy, your pastor, your sister, auntie, uncle? Who was it? Was it God that told you about God? Was it a mystical voice or someone that just came into you in the mist and spoke into your ear? Or you had a vision of God before someone told you about God? No, because we are all programmed to believe in what? A man in the sky that was going to come and save us. That is not true. Wake up. Did God create man, or did man create God? Because from my knowledge and my recollection, man created God. Man told me about God. Man told you about God. And if man never told you about God, there will be no God. It would just be us existing as one another. And then we will probably honor each other as God, as nature does, as understanding why we are even in this plane of existence, to know who we are. And we would just be like, oh, you're a reflection of me. You're a piece of me. And I'm just going to honor you because we are here in the same vessel, same being. You have arms, I have arms. We just relate on a more animalistic nature. But the fact that we can speak, the fact that we think, that we have free will, disconnects us from God. The fact that we are in a mind state that disconnects us from God every single day, from our television, from the chemtrails in the sky, from the food that we eat that is genetically modified, from the music that we listen to, the clothes that we put on our bodies that make us shameful of our sexual nature, us not even learning about sex and hiding it and being shameful of it. All of these things and and even placing God in a book that seems that it can be, you cannot attain God. God cannot be something that you have a conversation with. God is something that is just in the air and mythical, and that you just have to wish and believe in without any facts. But that's not true. God is what's righteous, and what is righteous is what is facts. God is morally good. And just because it's morally good does not mean that there's no bad side to God, because it says in the Bible that God, yes, I do all these things. I create good and evil. So God has to be the balance of good and evil, the balance of light and darkness. You see, all things come from darkness. We are this being. We are God in oneness. We are all one. We are all love. We are all evil. We are all this one being of God shattered up into fractal different pieces of itself to experience itself. You see, we forgot that we were gods, and we got told a story about us having to worship a separate God, visionary God in the sky, and we forgot that we're supposed to be worshiping one another and honoring one another for our gifts and talents and servitude and the things that we bring to this earth plane, for us to understand, oh, you have that aspect of God, I have this aspect of God, and to honor and worship one another. You see, but when the 7 deadly sins come into our beings, we start to be in the illusion of separation, and we start to disconnect ourselves from God. We start to disconnect ourselves from humans. And we should not be doing this, because if we read in the Bible, it says you should love, the greatest commandment to honor is to love thyself and love thy God with all your heart, and to love your neighbor. So you have to love yourself. You have to love your reflections. You see, we're all DNA. Everything that you see around you in this external view is DNA. We all come from the one love, one mind, one light. And this is broken up into different fractal pieces of itself on different frequencies. You see, you might be red, yellow, green, blue. And I might be the color brown. You might be the color red. And so when you look at me, you're perceiving yourself through that frequency that you've been programmed to think on. But if you open your mind up, if you allow yourself to think different thoughts, sometimes you're locked because of your astrological program. Sometimes you can't understand what the Most High Elohio Bishop, the Christ, is talking about, because you hold that perspective of what the system of America has given you when it comes to that mindset of thinking that you have to work for a 9 to 5. You have to abide by the laws that they give you, when there's natural law that you naturally do not abide by, but you're abiding by a man's law. But you do not see that man is God to you, because you work every day for that money to support your house, to support your rent, to support your car, to support you with clothes on your body. And this is constantly making you disconnect from God and not understand who you are as a child of God. You're disconnected from the source. You're not appreciating the aspects and the traits and the gifts that you have. You're being a battery to be something that's going against the system and against who we are as chosen, enlightened beings that's supposed to be constantly connected to the earth, streaming God's light, constantly being reflections of God, constantly seeing the light in one another. That's why black people in the system, you are the lit ones. You are what bring everything into culture. You are swag. You are dope. You are cool. You make a word feel something. You make people feel words. You make people feel rhythm. God doesn't speak in the language that I'm speaking to, like English. God speaks in mathematics, movements, and music. So you understand that we are unconceptualized beings trying to understand ourselves through one another. But a lot of times we just trap ourselves in a book of what someone has told us. So did God create man, or did man create God? God created man. Well, how would you say that? You would say, well, God breathed life into man's body. So that means God had to have taken breath from itself and breathed it out also. Where did God get its breath? Well, I get my breath from the trees. Did God ignore the trees, or is God off of the trees? You see, you got to think about these things. You can't just believe what subjectivity and what feels right. The Bible feels right to a lot of us, but we have to also feel that feeling and question the details of it, because it is written by man. It was not written by God. That's why they have a King James version, an NIV version, so many different versions of what? The truth. And all these different religions are filtered in different perceptions of a man. So we can all take our different perceptions and see, oh wait, the totality and the moral of our religions is what? To love one another, to be compassionate for one another, to see each other and to do the righteous thing at all times, to live based off facts. Religion is just science in reality. The Bible is a science book, and it's an astrology book. It's here for you to study yourself, not for you to get trapped into and sit in church every day and not have your mind expanded and past the mental contain that we have on our minds. You see, because thought comes from our DNA. Thought comes from the proton. We are cells in the body of God. Everything around us is atoms. This is biology. Everything around me is atoms made up of matter. And this matter is just 99.999 empty space. This is really just nothing. This is really just a hologram from our mind. If you take away all your senses, is there any existence? No, this existence is a tangible, and this existence is tangible based off the observation and the senses of the person observing the external world. So you need to be observed as one, and you need to have an observation. You need to be observed, and you need to have an observation, something to observe. You see? So when we take away all our senses, this reality is no longer exists. Everything is coming from your mind, your brain, and it's telling you what you are perceiving. And your perception is based off your astrological program, which is also from your genes and your genetic code. So everything is just codes and zeros and ones. How does 0 become 1? Because this is the language that God speaks in, is mathematics. How does 0 become 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 0 again? So how did 0 become 1? 0 is pretending to be 1. 1 really does not exist. You see? Because we're all 0. We're all in this illusion that you call life. When you look at the sun, it's a white light, right? And behind that white light is pure darkness. What is fueling the white light is like a vacuum, sucking all the darkness, and it's going to be this circle of lights coming through. Just like your eyeballs. You have a retina, you have photons entering your eye, and then you have electrical signals going through your nerve, through your brain, and then you're going to have that nerve be connected to the back of your brain, and that's going to show you what you see in this external reality. How is your brain that is encased in darkness telling you what you see? How is your brain that is encased in darkness telling you what you see? Is that even real? You see, we have to question these things. We're believing things too easily, right? We're believing things too much. And why do you think that it's so hard for black people to get outside of themselves and to worship one another? Because we've been taught to hate ourselves. The reality of hating the dark skins, hating the light skins. Of women hating a young woman. Older women hating a young woman. Black older men hating a young black old men. Woman against men. The families are separated. We are in fear of the so deeply in our genetic code to fear for over 400, 500 years. It is time for us to wake up as black people and to see that the system is against us. It really is just a game that you're playing on your mind for you to see if you have faith in God, for God to provide for you. For God to give you the water that you need. Not for you to go into a grocery store and say, this is the water that I need. Not for you to go into a grocery store and pick up fruit from the aisle that is $5 for a mango. But you can go to a tree outside and give honorance to that tree and give worship to that water and give to worship to the sun and say, I'm thankful for this fruit being here. I'm thankful for you honoring this spot where this constellation is started, a portal, so I can eat something every day and come here. The birds come here every day, take a bath in the river. They come and find nuts and fruits, and there's a little nest right here for baby chickens, baby birds to be fed every day. They're taken care of. They have a shelter and everything. Why are we the only beings that think that we have free will? You are not having free will. You are being tortured for your own doing of you going against and being disconnected from God and not having full faith and full knowing, because faith is knowing, full understanding and scientific proof of what you should do as a people of God and as the children of God. It is time to wake up. It's time to get your cells and your DNA awakened and activated. And you cannot get your DNA awakened and activated to the same thing you did last year. You can't. You gotta get up. You gotta do something different. You gotta get up, get out, and get something. Black people, it's time for you to wake up and to be a part of the change. The change ain't gonna come for you. There's been many times when we tried to change the system. We cannot change the system. We have to leave the system. exit ourselves. Quit your jobs. Stop working for money. You do not need to work for money. We need people. People is the greatest commerce. You are what powers the system. And you getting your own business and your own type of bank, that's never going to work, because all money goes to feeding that cancer. All money goes to you killing your own self. You are in schools. You are in hospitals. And they're all telling you information that is a lie, that is keeping you constantly trapped. But it's the age of Aquarius, so information is literally like open to you all over the internet. 3 God has been coming online day to day, every single day for the past 6 years, teaching you this divine worship of gospels, this divine fulfillment of all truth. You might have read it, but have you felt to be fulfilled? Have you had a mission for your life that made you get out of the system? There's been a lot of black prophets that's come to this earth and tried to help black people, but they keep them in the same predicament. Yes, we are stuck in we're in the burning house right now. America is at war. You got rising up in, what else is next? What else do you need the dollar to fall? We're supposed to unify together as a people. That is what we're missing. We're missing love. We're missing unity. We're missing for us to get all our resources and bring them together. That is what we're missing, and we're here to do that. 3 God is here to make us unite as a people, not to separate. You should not have no hate in your heart for him. This is your black brother. This is your black friend. This is your black father. This is your son. Have some compassion for your black people, for your black struggle. He has made it out of the cracks of the jungle from the 80s, of Harlem 80s, when people gang violence, abusing each other, so much crime, so much that we have to emerge from the darkness into the light, and that's exactly what he's done, flawlessly. Even with all his flaws, he's been done perfectly, because you cannot judge nobody. You are not without sin, so you cannot cast no stones. So please, look inside yourself. Look inside the change that you have to do within yourself before judging anybody else on side a camera. I'm going through my own journey. All I can do is just preach the gospel and live it day by day. It's a very hard journey. It's very hard to leave the kids. It's very hard to leave all your attachments that you've known all your life. It's very hard to empty your cup of what you've learned. But you have to do this so you can accept and be a participant in the open vessel for the kingdom of God, for God to even utilize you. Black people, you're not being utilized for God. You're being utilized for the devil. You're being utilized to go against ourselves, against nature. You're supposed to proclaim the kingdom with due emphasis. There are no Christians here. Where are the Christians at? Not the ones going to church every day, doing community service for the community that goes nowhere. You're supposed to be proclaiming the truth. You're supposed to be going against the unrighteousness in life and going towards the righteousness. What is righteous is getting connected to nature. But first you have to get connected to yourself, get connected to your mind, go ground that side. I urge you. It's dependent on our survival. It's dependent on our healing. We must heal this planet, and healing this planet is healing our mind. Because everything is mental. Every single thing is mental. That's why we must honor the knowledge and keep the knowledge no matter what we do.
Zoka doesn't come to a surprise to me that she's still at Carbonation. She just has, over the time that she's been in Carbonation, in my opinion, she has this rebellious spirit. I don't think that before she left to go to Carbonation, I think that her life has always been, she never fit in with anybody. And this is honestly, even though it's dysfunctional, you know, she has said a few times she likes pain. And sometimes when people say stuff like that, because we have like women, just using an example, that stay with men that beat on them. And we know that if a man puts his hands on you, that's not love, because love's not supposed to hurt. But some women believe if a man's not doing that, oh, he must be cheating. Oh, he must be doing this or that because he's not putting his hands on me. That's how Zoka, I really think, her mechanics operate. her mindset is just somewhere else. I don't know her upbringing. I did say in one of my lives that she had a cousin that was on Big O, her blood cousin, who said she's always been manipulative. So it's no surprise to him, and this is her blood, that 𝗪𝗪 is in carbonation and she's living the ratchet life that she's living, and doing and saying the things that she's saying because her behavior was no different in California. You know, she just moved somewhere else and, you know, did her thing somewhere else. But 𝗪𝗪 is being who 𝗪𝗪 is, you know, and when people tell you who they are, you need to believe it. 𝗪𝗪 is telling you who she is. Right now, I believe this is fun and games for the girls. Because one, they're not in jail, Natureboy is. Two, they're able to be free. Now, I just hope that this time, because see, God don't make no mistakes. I hope that they take this time to realize, though, while they're sitting there feeling free and don't have to worry about being on edge because Natureboy is not messing with their mental, that they want to feel like this all the time. And they know that when he does get out, they need to decide now, is this what they want for the rest of their life, that he's on earth? Because right now it's a cakewalk, it's a vacation, but it's gonna go back to the way it was if Natureboy gets out, if and when he gets out. So, you know, hopefully, you know, everything happens for a reason, whether it's good things or bad things. And I believe something always good comes out of something. And I hope that 𝗪𝗪, because she's talking crazy on this live, I hope that she realizes that, right, you know, this is not a joke. Our lives are not a joke. And we need to really take this life, because we only have one, really seriously, because it's only lasts for a short second. Look at the time you were born and that dash in between, and then you look at the time someone passes away on their gravestone, and that time is so short. And we can do a lot better. And I'm not gonna say we as in melanated people or black people, African, all the world, everyone in the world, we all can do a lot better. But if you knew better, you would do better, is how I look at it. So, like I said, people are going to do what they want to do. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. 𝗪𝗪 has to see things for what it is on her own time. Small update, I will be going live today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can see that post of me going live today at 5 p.m. on my community post. You probably also see it through your notifications and your subscription feeds, and also if you're looking up-to-date information about Natureboy, it'll probably be on the front page. So there's no way you're gonna miss my live. You might, you know, hear this video here before I go live or after, but at least you know that there is a video for you to go and check out on my second channel, sldaviswhatever Social Media News. Make sure to subscribe to the second channel, making sure that the option is on all when you hit that notification bell, so you can get all of the notifications. Now, I'm not going to speak my piece until FR33 is done with her sermon. I just really think that it's a really sad situation, that it's okay to talk about God, but when you're referring to God as Natureboy, and you want the public to refer to God as Natureboy being God, and all the things that Natureboy has done over the duration of the time that we've all followed him, up until he got arrested, which the local authorities must have been like, enough's enough. We have to sit this dude down, look into what's going on, and see if the facts are the facts or the allegations. And this is why Natureboy is locked up right now. So I'm going to let you listen to what FR33 had to say, and I'll be back with the rest of my commentary.
6, you must love. Peace reflections. Listen, you cannot serve both God and money. It says it in Matthew 6, you must love one and hate the other. You must be devoted to one and despise the other. So I don't understand how people today can claim up and down they Christians, claim up and down they filled with the Holy Ghost, claim up and down we retarded by worshiping a black man and seeing him as our God, but still wake up and go chase a piece of paper. Oh, you say you got your own business, but you're still doing it for money. Oh, you do your own art, but you still got money for it. If you was truly not selling your soul and truly in a line and with divinity and something that is God-like, you would be giving your art away for free. You will not do anything for money. Money has no value. The melanin in your skin is worth more than that piece of paper that you get up and worship every day. The only thing that gives money value is our attention and our focus and our mental capacity to think that it has some type of value of importance for our survival, and that is made through the European's mind. The problem is we are looking at life through the European's mind. We have the European's mind. So when you see us worshiping a black God, you're seeing it through the European mind. That's why you want to demonize it and bring it down and be happy that one of your black brothers, black fathers, black cousins, black son, black nephew is in jail. People celebrating and honoring a black man being in jail because they have the mind of the white, the mind of the European. And that's the mind we came to elevate and wake up, because our black people have had that mind. And see, even when you do have that mind, we do the best at it, because melanin, it just enhances. And you know, anything it touches, we're the best lawyers, we're the best athletes, we're the best music artists, because anything that melanin touches, it will bring it to life. United States is the best country, and everybody want to come here because of the culture and how us black people made it look. But you have to stop pointing the finger and take a look at yourself. How is everybody a Christian today, but when Jesus was alive in the Bible, you read your Bibles, he had 12 disciples and his own people crucified him. His own people killed him because he went against the system and the status quo of society, which we do. Y'all don't see it because you're in darkness. Your hearts have been calloused. The prophecy of Isaiah is upon you. But those who can hear, we're here to wake it up. It's time to wake it up. It's time to put the message out. And if you're going to be too coward to do it, well, support somebody who is doing it and standing for it no matter what. You can't get up and serve a piece of paper and claim you are God-like or something of divinity if you have any type of selling a piece of yourself for this piece of paper. Y'all like to point the finger at us. Well, don't you receive donations? Well, the gods have returned to bring back this message, but we are still in hell. So you do have to utilize the damn piece of paper, obviously, but we don't do it for money. We don't for that dollar. We just open ourselves up for our blessings. Because what we have is way more valuable than that money. Way more valuable than money. We don't store our treasures in these earthly possessions. That's why you see us flaunt it and throw it all away, because we're not taking none of it with us when we die. That's why we left all walk our path, because you ain't taking none of it with you but your soul. Store your treasures in heaven, where moss and vermin cannot come in and steal what I have. This mind, my soul, you cannot come in and steal me. Do not fear one who can kill the body but not the soul. I got my soul. I got my heart. My heart will be light as a feather when I transition, because I walk and talk this knowledge. Walk it like I talk it. Walk and talk this knowledge. I am this knowledge. Every move I make, I'm conscious and aware of the knowledge, because when I die, I'm going to weigh my own heart. That is the purpose of life. Can't you see? If we live all of this life, what seems so long, but it's happening like this, and then when we have that moment of death or transition, we stop and play back the whole life, and then we either say, hell yeah, I did that, Or like, damn, I should have really listened to 3 God. He was really trying to tell me I'm in hell and da 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 da. Oh, I treated that person like that. Oh, I treated them like. Oh, and then you're gonna stay in this place of regret and hurt because you're gonna be surrounded by so much love, and you're gonna feel a love that you never felt before. You're gonna feel that everything is me, everything was me. Oh, look at all this love, and then you're gonna open your arms up. You're gonna say, come, but you're gonna feel so bad, and you're gonna feel so regret, and then you're gonna take that energy and vibrate yourself to a place of hell. Regret is a place. Guilt is a place. It is a frequency of thoughts. All is mind, all is mental. What are you feeding your minds with? That's what we came to elevate. We are in darkness now because we have went against the Most High. But the Most High has returned through the 3 God. 3 God is God. 3 God is Jesus in the flesh. Oh, it sounds crazy, don't it? Because he's one of us. Don't you know Jesus is returning? You thought it was going to be a... Nah. It's time to wake up. Stop putting your finger and look at yourself.
It's really sad that Afro allowed herself to stay as long as she did, and she is now stuck. She's been mistreated for a few years, and you know, she's probably had the worst life that anyone could imagine, even though this is the norm for Afro. When you subject yourself to this kind of a mental and physical abuse for a long time, you start to think that this is how life is, and this is how relationships are supposed to be between people. And also, she's stuck because she's brainwashed, and she honestly thinks that she should not be working in Babylon for money. That's one thing, beside laziness being a factor, beside being rebellious probably prior to going to carbonation with Natureboy. She's brainwashed. She has been brainwashed into thinking that she should not have to work. And the only way that it's humanly possible is her still being over there on Natureboy's side, whether or not he's in jail or not. As long as he has a roof he can put over their head, they're gonna stay there because they're conditioned to the lifestyle. And it's really sad. It's the same thing as like a woman that's with a millionaire, and he's running around on her and cheating and doing all kind of stuff, maybe even abusing her physically and mentally, you know, and she stays with him because he's taking care of her. She's got the big diamond ring, the fancy car, the beautiful house. She doesn't have to work. She probably has maids. I'm just saying millionaire status. And the woman just stays in that abusive relationship because she does not know her worth. She doesn't also want to have to change her lifestyle. It's the fear of the unknown. And that's the situation with these girls over here. It's the fear of the unknown. What are people going to think of me? How are they going to perceive me? I'm just not going to make it because Natureboy has told me that there's no one on this planet that's going to do the things for you like he did for you. And for you to be grateful. And they start to believe this when we know in all actuality there are great men out here that are not going to cheat on you, that are not going to exploit you, that are not going to disrespect you, that you can be with and be happy, that it could be 50-50, or in some cases maybe you will meet someone that is established and can take care of you, but also treat you like the queen that you should be treated like. And these girls don't see their worth, so this is why they subject themselves to this kind of treatment, and they put themselves in these kind of situations. It's a pattern of behavior with all these ex-carbonation members, not just Afro, not just Malia or Zoka, that they've all been brainwashed in a lot of ways, and one being that they don't want to work. Everyone has flocked that left that house, his disciples, to either Big Go or Instagram to, you know, get money because people want to hear or hope that they're going to bring up the stories of what happened behind closed doors with Natureboy. I just seen someone, I'm not going to say her name, but that's a big hint. But you got to understand, even on YouTube, if you have a YouTube channel, your views are going to go up and down. But I'm subscribed to her channel and I watch her. She's another hint. She's an ex-Carbonation member. But it's like she's having a downtime. I'm having a downtime on my views. And I really think that the last video that person did on their channel, it all of a sudden was referring to Natureboy, even though it wasn't in the title. You know, the word cult. How I got out of a cult, or what dealing with getting out of a cult, whatever the title was. You know, they use Natureboy as a crutch. Like they can't make it without his presence, or without having some type of attachment to him. So it's like, okay, my views are struggling. You know, I'm trying to make sure that I get this monthly on the 21st of the month, this money in every month, so I don't have to work. It's almost like anxiety for them. You know, the thought of them having to work. So, you know, they'll do anything, any means necessary. If it takes 1 minute them saying, oh, I don't want you asking me questions about Natureboy, I don't want to talk about Natureboy, I have moved on with my life. But in an instant, when your views are looking kind of like on the diet, you want to stop bringing up using the word cult. And I didn't look at the video, I just seen the title, and I immediately, because I'm a YouTuber, knew why that video was put out there. And it was to utilize not the system, but to utilize Natureboy and his teachings, and how he taught them that they shouldn't work for money, and and to be home and to be lazy, and they're not living off the land, but to not work a job. So it's any means necessary. I really feel at this point, when I seen that video, you know, if the views are starting to struggle, people are not paying attention to that person no more, because they're not understanding it never was about you in the first place. You can't make yourself out to be this star when you were in a cult. That's the only reason why you're getting this attention. It's not because you did anything spectacular, or you're some A-list actor or something like that, or a singer or a football player. You were in a cult. And they have to understand that, you know, that's the only reason why people are there, because it's like a circus. They want to hear the drama. They want to hear the struggle. They want to know what happened behind closed doors that we don't know, because we only see a little bit of everyone's life that shares their life on social media. And we still don't know for sure if what we're seeing is what it is. But when them cameras go off, that's usually when the truth comes out and people start to be who they are, because they're behind closed doors in their own domain.
Hey, Demetrius. Hey, beautiful. I'm sorry. I had hit my tablet in the video that I'm actually on this live stream. I was hearing myself talk. I had to mute it real quick so I could shut it off. Well, listen, so this is part 2 to Malia. A lot of people have been saying that she doesn't look herself in the face. I believe that she's losing weight. She lost it quite quickly, but we have to understand that she is sickly. Hey, sweetie, how are you today, Trent? So she is quite sickly. So, you know, I'm quite sure any stress that she's under, she's going to lose weight quickly, because, you know, she's already sick to begin with. And she's already going through, you know, health problems that were caused by Natureboy. And, you know, now this is happening. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to come on live and share this live stream that she put up a couple of days ago, because I just wasn't going to put it up yesterday because it was just too much work. She had did 3 downloads. I was kind of surprised. She's actually did a couple more downloads after this live stream right here. So she's been putting in the work. I don't know who's been on her back. It could be a combination of Natureboy calling from prison and True maybe staying on her neck. Even if she's not speaking the knowledge, just speaking off her heart, which we know that she's just ain't rambling on. But she is going through a lot. You know what I'm saying? We all don't know if Natureboy is going to get out. She's probably undecided if she's going to leave. I'm quite sure she probably wants to leave. But, you know, hey, sweetie. But, you know, she's there for now. So we'll see, you know, how this plays out. I'm quite sure that if she does leave, True will get on to Big O and let us know. But I'm going to start the video. And y'all, you know, we're going to, this is a live commentary video. So we're going to listen to the video and we're going to break it all the way down.
First off, we're doing the work that no one wants to do. We're doing the healing that no one wants to do. We're doing we're taking the necessary steps to heal one's mind and one's perspective. Because Baba G gave us perspectives that no one else can tap into. He has gave us perspective that will unlock many doors and many perspectives to have. But if you're stuck and if you are resorting yourself just to one perspective and one dimension, surface dwellers will never find God. You will never find God on the perspective that you're holding and the level of frequency you're still vibrating and thinking on. You will never find God. You will never tap into the Christ consciousness. You will never tap into the truth if you don't start to apply the knowledge to your life. So many people are in their 7 daily sins. They're experiencing
I don't think that Malia actually knows what she's saying out of her mouth, because when Natureboy was out, like I said, before the SWAT came and got him that night, this dude was in the bathroom with these girls and he was showing his privates and he was making them pull up their shirts and show their chests. Now, these videos, you can think you're deleting them. They never go away, whatever you put online. Did you think for 1 minute, Malia, that your son can get older and see these videos floating around of a man straight just disrespecting you like that? I mean, I think that's the highest disrespect that I've seen in the years that I've been on this planet. And she's talking about sin, and she's drinking Hennessy with him. She's drinking the red wine. She's smoking the ayahuasca with them, because they're smoking ayahuasca, and allegedly they're saying that is stronger than weed. They're smoking the weed. I just don't understand how you can get up here all of a sudden and switch and flip the script, and now you're this same woman that's teaching the knowledge and spreading awareness of how we need to get to, you know, better as people. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Because none of what you were doing prior to, I have not now stopped to visit the Twilight Zone. Hey, what's going on? You are funny as heck. You had me cracking up yesterday. Hey, what's up with you? Evolving. Yeah, it's the Twilight Zone, because she's just confusing me. I don't get it. Just like a month ago, she was doing like some OnlyFans with Natureboy, but it was free. That's the only thing.
Gluttony, pride, envy, lust, wrath, greed, and excessive pride. See, when you have these things, when you have these 7 daily sins upon you, you won't able to see the truth and see reality for what it is, because you are indulging in your 7 daily sins. You are pointing the finger and keeping and holding your own perspective and holding your own views about the situation that's clearly not helping you and that's clearly hurting you, because you're not able to see past the situation that you're in, because you're holding your own perspective. You won't be able to tap into this knowledge because your mind isn't open. The way you think and the way you see things isn't open to new perspectives and new dimensions of thought. And so many people, they point the finger at us because they actually see us doing the work. They actually see us doing the healing. They actually see us making a move into creating a new world and a new mind for our people. And some people, most people, they're stuck in their world and in their bubble. They're stuck in their dream of what society and what the world has given them and told them that they were. So they are not able to see past any level of where they're at, because they were told something else, and they hooked and held on to that perspective and held on to those beliefs so tightly that when something is presented to them other than what they know, they're not ready to hear the truth, and they're not open to hearing the truth because their mind, their heart is callous.
Man, let me tell you something. Her brain is stuck. She reminds me of a dumb blonde. Somebody said in my comment section, like what level of school did she go to? Like, oh my God, I don't know what's up with Malia. She's not the brightest bulb on the tree. And I don't know. Something's not quite right. But I mean, they're all over there because something's quite not right. You know what I'm saying? I can send a bunch of people that I know in my real life over there because they belong over there with them. It's just, it's crazy that she's sitting up here. She's talking a 40-minute conversation. And what are you saying, ma'am? Like, you can't make us think that you're, right. She wants to sound intelligent. Right. You're not. Just be you. Just talk. Don't even, talk about how you love Natureboy. We know that you gotta be some kind of love there for you to be sitting up there letting him order some other chick to slap you upside your head. But I'm just saying, just talk, Malia. All this, the knowledge, and we as the people, oh, stop it. Somebody get security. I think I'm gonna need some backup.
And their perspectives are blocked, and their mind is blocked from seeing the truth. And you must overcome your demons to become one with your highest self, one with the source of one with the source of this planet, one with the source of divine knowledge itself and wisdom, and coming into who you are. Because you are a melanated person, you are a melanated being. You are supposed to be one with the planet. You're supposed to be eating from the earth. You're supposed to be taking your cup and cupping on earth and potting on earth and becoming one with the earth. But you've created so much convenience around your life. You have entertainment in your life. You have many things to escape and go into, rather than actually sitting down with yourself and actually seeing yourself and working on yourself and working on your traumas and working on the things that you have going on within yourself. You have so many things to distract yourself with, to push those spiritual avenues, or even looking at yourself and seeing yourself and able to see your own perspective
and what
and
I'm
see
trying
what
to say
you're
can
doing
I get
wrong,
$3?
and actually looking at yourself and sitting down with yourself and understanding who you are as a human being. Who are you? Have you got into your natal chart? Have you studied?
Olsen said, girl, stop. You strange. Oh, my God. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. I should not laugh. He messed her head up bad, man. That's why sometimes, let me just say this. And this, we everybody in here knows this. Make sure y'all hit that like button as y'all come in, please. It's free. That's why sometimes when you dealing with somebody and they don't resonate on the same level as you, and you get a vibe that is something off, sometimes you got to just let it go. Because let me tell you something. Physical abuse, a scar, or whatever happens to you in that moment can heal. But when somebody tries to mess your mental up and you allow it, that you can never come back from that. You know what I'm saying? I in life, I know people in my real life that got mental health, serious mental health issues. And they think they are sane as they want to be. And they're not. Malia needs to heal. All of these people that left Carbonation, even Velvet. I seen that video Velvet put up talking about how to survive a cult. Velvet, heal. Just keep doing your vlogs with your little kids. We want to see the growth. We already tried to get how you felt and what you went through out of you, all the full story of what happened. And you was trying to give us bits and pieces, you know, spoon feeding us little bits and pieces. We don't want to hear your story no more, Velvet. You're walking around here, people, oh, I'm proud of Velvet. But half the people couldn't stand Velvet. Like they don't like Malia. Now Velvet thinks she's a superstar. How are you're not no A-list celebrity, Velvet. You're only being paid attention to because you were with a cult leader. And they're looking at you like a display at the circus. And that's the only reason why people go over there. And eventually, just like with this content that I'm doing, it's gonna drift away. People are gonna get tired of listening to this. And just like they're gonna get tired of Carbonation, the ex-members, Velvet included. Let's not leave her out. She's putting up on her channel something about how, I don't know, something about cult. The last video she did. I said to myself, on YouTube, we have views. They go up and they go down. If you look at Velvet's channel, you can tell that her views are not like they were when she first started. So now Velvet want to put up a video about surviving a cult. Why? Because you want to put ads on this video, and the other videos are not doing as well as if you put up about leaving Carbonation. All she gonna do is talk about the same regurgitated stuff she done told us for the last year. She was on Bigger with like Velvet. We already know that part, but tell us the other details. She was trying to spoon feed us this mess, and she still walked away. We still don't know what she really been through. It's all game. Then I heard Kite was on Big O today begging for $75. I don't understand how grown people who are well and able of all, this goes for any age. They're well insane enough to work a job. Why you got to be asking me for my little bit of money? It's almost like this world is coming to an end. I don't owe you nothing. I can't stand a beggar. Go out and get a job. Stop trying to beg and use and all this, trying to run game, and stop. It's really, I mean, it's sad. It's really sad. She's doing this for cash apps. No one's gonna pay you any money talking like this. I mean, it's really sad. And there's people that think this is cute, being freeloaders. I know people in my personal life that do it, and they ain't got no shame in it. I just wasn't raised like that. You appreciate what you got when you get it on your own. That's what my mother used to always tell me, and that's the truth. Everything I get, even if it was hard for me to get it, I appreciate it when I get it on my own. And this is so sad that these people up here, you know, sitting up here, now they want to speak the knowledge and act all civilized, what they wasn't doing a month ago. It just doesn't make any sense. Kite was disrespectful and popping mad stuff, but he's begging. I understand it myself. Yeah, it's crazy. It was today he was on Bigger, right? They said it was a video that was up. What's the name of the channel? Three No God, something like that. I had played a clip yesterday from her channel. She does commentary or whatever. She's kind of a relatively new channel to me. I really didn't see her around. And she put that video up that Kite was begging for $75 because he said it was an emergency. So I know people in my real life. I know people on the internet. I don't see how people are just that comfortable with begging, being a beggar, being a freeloader, and not wanting to go out and do for themselves. It's just sad. It's sad, you know, and it's an embarrassment.
Yourself? Have you understood yourself? Have you take the time out to get away from the world and get away from everybody else that's moving so fast and escaping from their problems and going over there and going partying and going watching entertainment and covering up their problems with indulging themselves with other people and just the lack of desire and the lack of passion to become one with your higher self and one with this knowledge, because this knowledge will open up many doors for you. It will open up different perspectives for you, and the life that you're living, you won't no longer be able.
Can you guys do me a favor? There's 94 people in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all hit. I know, you know, people are allergic to the like button and all that stuff. Oh, what is this here? Hold on 1 second. Stuff's all popping up on my tablet. So make sure y'all hit that like button as y'all come inside the room. And chat, look out for me. Y'all at least make sure y'all hit the like button. Because it seems like people just don't like hitting that like button. It don't make no sense.
To live, because of the fact that this knowledge awakens your mind and awakens your DNA to truth. The reality that you're in really don't exist. Truly, it's 99.9 empty space, and you are in your mind, you're in your own dream, you're in your own perspective. So when you open up the rabbit hole of the knowledge and actually seeking the knowledge.
That part, Erica, that part. And that's why I said when people come in, because see, let me tell you something. Don't think I don't remember how everyone hated Velvet. Malia is now taking the place of the hate that Velvet used to get. Now it's, oh, I'm so proud of Velvet. Velvet is running game just like all of the rest of the ex-Carbonation members. And she don't need to even run no game. She got sponsorships and she got a YouTube channel. Just do your vlogs. If you're consistent on your vlogs, they're going to blow up. Just get out of this sector. You cannot heal still trying to tell us about the regurgitated you being with Natureboy. We've seen it publicly. You don't have to explain it to us. We know what you've been through. And I'm not saying this to be mean because, you know, a lot of us been in those situations. But it comes a time you got to give it to God. You got to give it to God. There's a lot of things in my personal life. I'm not gonna overlook what God is showing me. I'm not playing with God. Velvet has a second chance to move on with her life. She's doing good. Leave it alone. Nobody really wants to hear about that no more, Velvet. Yeah, they came around yesterday because you put the video up about when you put the title cult, but it's played now. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's just getting played now. It's almost like when you hang around people that are trash for too long, you become trash. And it's sad to say that, but they just been around him so long that they have adapted his ways. And some of Natureboy's, all of Natureboy's ways, they're not good ways. They all have game with them. You can't just beat up on Malia and don't look at Velvet. Because let me tell you something. Put a Y in the chat. We all know if Velvet got her way with Natureboy and she could have him to herself, she would have took him slime ball and all. We all know that. Because we all have dealt with slime balls. We might have a slime ball around us now that we know we got to get rid of. They're straight slime balls. Velvet would have stayed with that slime ball. So y'all can sit there and downplay that all you want. She would have stayed with him. That's the only reason why she's not with him. That's the reason why she has so much animosity. It's because he kept lying to her that he was going to be monogamy when he wanted to do, he's not even doing polygamy, but I'm just saying when he just wanted to be with many women. And she just got stuck. She got off of stuck on stupid and left and laid up with somebody else. Her father told her to keep the baby, and he only told her to keep it, Lord rest his soul, because he didn't want her back with Natureboy. Any means necessary, he was going to make sure that that girl wasn't going back to Natureboy. Because Velvet probably would have had her butt back over there if she didn't have that baby. That baby saved her. What is this? It says all of them are getting a high reality check. Grow up already. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you already know. And I just hope people are not falling for the okie doke. Oh, don't talk about Velvet. Velvet's doing good. Velvet's doing the same thing like Kite. She just ain't openly begging. She's not saying, it's an emergency. I need because she don't need $75 for number one. Her mother put a on some game. She's doing the same job, side hustle that her mother got going on. She's doing good with that, helping people repair their credit. But you know what I'm saying? But they missed. They didn't want to be in the limelight when they was in the limelight. Now they have a choice to not be in the limelight, not to be on social media, and you can't get them off. They're like roaches. They're like roaches. And if you notice, they're all begging, but they have their own sort of way that they all beg. Everyone's beg is different. Velvet got a more of a subtle beg. She's not asking for nothing. But trust me, I don't even look at her videos no more. But she's begging. She's not asking you for no money. But trust and believe, she's begging. She's begging. She's begging just like Malia's begging. Malia ain't said nothing about even $3 yet. But Malia's begging. She's doing it in her own way. Begging. I bet you I didn't look, but I bet you that CashApp's pinned up there.
And getting into the knowledge, you will see that
professional beggars,
what you've been doing your whole life has been a lie, and someone has told you to do these things, and some people have told.
I say to you guys all the time, put a Y in the chat. I don't want no Cash Apps, and I don't want no super chats. Just hit the like button. That's all I ask for, and that's free. That's all I ask. Put a Y in the chat if I don't say it. What channel holder will say that? You ain't never been in nobody's chat that tells you, and that's talking about money. I don't want no Cash Apps or no super chats. Who do you know says that? Hold on one second.
Told you to go to church and go to school and to do all of these things. These things were passed down to you. These were inherited things that were given to you through your genetics, through your mom, through your dad, through your sisters and your brothers. You just fell into place and you began to do what they were doing. You began to go to school like they was going to school. You began to eat the poison food that they're eating, urging the convenience of Babylon and convenience of the society, which you never even questioned to think about or questioned to even ask about. You just took on the environment as if it was your own, and you just took on being one with the environment and never even questioned. And that's understandable because you portaled into it. So you poured it into a lie, you poured it into iniquity, you poured it into continuing to do the same things over and over and over, and no one ever asks, or no one ever even thought to even think different, because the world didn't give you any different, and you are in cognitive dissonance because of the fact that you don't know anything else, and that's all you know is what you were given. And so anything outside of that, you don't want to take it, you don't want to analyze it or look at it or see it for what it is, because you've been stuck in that same pattern of doing things your whole life, and going to work and having children and having your own business and having a husband and having that whole situation, that whole life set up for you, and having a business and having a car and going out to partying and going to events and going to watching entertainment on TV, and the food you were eating, and the idea and the stigma of having to be sick and go to the hospital and be on medications, and the idea of being have one perspective of one view of life, and you never thought to think of anything else. You just literally started moving, and you started to be what someone else wanted you to be, rather than who you truly were when you portaled through, who you truly were when you entered into this reality. Because this is a mental realm. You think that this is a physical realm because it feels so real, and everything that you're experiencing, you feel like it's real, and that it you can really you're really here in this reality, but you're not. It's all mental. It's actually here to make you believe and think that it's real, so you can get your lessons, and you can get your tests, and you can get your obstacles, so you can overcome yourself and elevate your mind to the highest frequency, and elevate your mind to the Christ consciousness. This is all just a way of your heart. This is all just a way of your mind.
You know what's so sad about this whole situation? We know that something's going on with these downloads. It's not coming out naturally. And you're right, she could be reading off of cue cards. I know one time we did a live and she looked like she was reading off a cue card. She could be reading off a cue card, but she could be reading off the cue card. She's reading it, but she's putting it in her own words. I don't know why they keep putting her up here to do downloads. You know, I just feel like she just should go home. She's not a social media person. She doesn't like to be in front of a camera. You can see she's not comfortable with doing it. She doesn't know how to articulate herself. And I don't know why they keep putting her up there. She's damaging this case because they're looking at her and saying, there's no way she came over the way she sounds. No way she came over there like that. So, you know what I'm saying? She is probably like mentally gone because of what he has done to these people. That's how they're looking at it. They should not have Malia up there on there like that. I'm sitting there listening. There's nothing that when I listen to any of her downloads that I can take away and use in my real life. Because I don't even know what she's saying. It's like she's just talking just to hear herself talk. They are giving her words. She can't read full sentences. Oh, man, it's just crazy. She's just blah, 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 blah. Like people say to me, won't you let the video play? You talk too much. At least you understand what I'm saying. At least I can articulate myself. I bet that. I talk. Yes, this is a commentary channel. But I'm not up here like Malia. And what I'm trying to say is, can I get $5? Girl, shut up.
And how resilient you are, how strong you are, how when put under pressure, how are you able to act under pressure? How are you able to respond under pressure? How are you able to deal with yourself under pressure? You're really not dealing with anyone but yourself. You're not dealing with any external thing or person but yourself. This is just all a test to yourself. This is all just another chance and another opportunity for you to be the greatest version of yourself that you can be and that you can tap into. Everyone external of you is just your subconscious testing you and triggering you and showing you things about yourself that you wasn't able to see alone. If you were alone by yourself in a room isolated away from people, your reality is going to give you people in your life that are going to show you things. They're going to send you a broadcast. They're going to send you a message that the no one else or the food can't send to you, or the trees can't send to you, or the sun can't send to you because of they're blocking the sun.
And you know why I criticized Malia being up here? Because all they're doing is putting her up here, and she's making a fool of herself. It's almost like we're not learning anything from Malia, right? And what she's saying. So it's just funny. It's just we're just getting up here to laugh. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for laughing, but that's not the purpose of her being up there. It's to help, I guess, free Natureboy and spread the knowledge and get CashApps. No, people are laughing at you. This is not spreading awareness. This is like Def Comedy Jam. It's like a comedy show because people are like, I know this broad ain't saying all this stuff. It just doesn't make no sense to me. It just don't. Can y'all hear me? Okay, I see the signal.
In nature with all of these the toxins and the water and they're blocking it. They're blocking the information that's trying to come through. So we're here as your subconscious, telling you and teaching you about the message, and teaching you about the 5 sciences, and teaching you that we are God, and that we are the source of our reality, and that when we come into this true understanding of who we are, then we are superior. We begin to understand that we are the rulers of our own reality, and we don't need the convenience of Babylon. We don't need the convenience of this world. We don't need the convenience of this society. We don't need this, because before Babylon even came to build itself around nature, we already had an established society here. We didn't need any of those convenience. We already had unified groups. We already had unified unity within ourselves. We already had food from nature. We already knew how to be one with the planet. We already knew how to cup on the earth, how to empty our pot on the earth. We knew how to live a self-sustainable life with nature, and in tune with nature, and in tune with the planet. We didn't have houses. We had huts, and we had natural housing that was in tune with nature, but we didn't have these buildings and these houses that were formed around nature. This began when the Caucasians came and they took our our land and started to repopulate their society onto our land. And we started to live like them. We started to be like them. We started to desire to be like our lower self. We started to desire the things that our lower self provided for us. We started to desire these things that we didn't even know anything about, because when we were born, we were just little babies. We didn't know anything about this world. We didn't know that we had a nose. We didn't know that we had eyes. We didn't know that we had ears. We didn't know that anything about school. We didn't know anything about a bottle. We didn't know anything about mom and dad. Someone gave you a name. Someone gave you a religion. Someone gave you beliefs. Someone said, this is who you are, and this is how you're going to function, and this is how you're going to be. They took away your imagination. They took away your mind. They took away your creativity. They took away your whole childhood. They took away your whole existence as a human being. They took away your idea of being nude. They took away your identity of being connected to nature, and being like nature, and being like the animals in nature, and being like the birds that are free, the trees, the animals, the insects. Everything in nature is free. Everything in nature is just being. They don't have to conform to a society and conform to the rules and the regulations of a society. They had to conform to the rules and the regulations of nature, and how nature wanted it, and how nature wanted things to go, and how nature must have it, and it shall be.
I can't believe she's going this long with it, though. I'm just kind of shocked. Like, how do you talk this long and you don't really have no comment? Like, I can't even do it. I can't even be on this live no more than an hour. You got, put a Y in the chat. I only can do an hour, unless like I go over the time, not looking at the time. It's not that much. I mean, people say I like to talk on, all the trolls. It's a commentary channel. I'm supposed to be talking. However, I can't sit there and just talk about nothing. She's talking about a whole bunch of nothing. And she just goes on and on and on. Like, ma'am, give it up. We know you're not the brightest bulb on the tree. What are you saying?
Because nature is the laws of the divine, and it is in tune, and it is regulated by a code that is operated by the divine source that we all are in tune with. Our source on this planet is the sun, and we all shall be in tune with the sun. We all shall be one with the sun. We all shall be alive within the sun, and whoever shall be alive in it are three God's people, are three God's children. We are his angels, because we're here to be one with this message, and one with the source, and one with the essence of things, and where everything comes from. We're not going to a world that's being taken and stripped from nature. We're actually one with the source of the planet, where everything comes from. Well, your whole reality that you're living, it comes from nature. It comes from the natural world. They've taken and stripped away the natural world to create their society, so they can gain power, so they can gain control, so they can gain power over themselves, because they didn't want the melanated people in rulership, because once we're in rulership, we know how to be one. We know how to have compassion for the earth. We know how to live in tune with the earth. We don't destroy the earth. We don't strip the earth of its natural resources. We don't strip the earth of its oils, of its trees, of its oxygen. We don't pollute the air. We don't pollute the water. We don't put toxins in the water. We don't put chemicals in the water. We don't destroy the planet. We take care of the planet. We live in tune with the planet. We heal the planet. And we heal the minds of the people so they can be in tune with the planet as well. Because if you search up are humans a part of nature, it says no, humans are not a part of nature. They're seen as a separate category of nature, when in fact they are nature. But we've seen as a separate category of nature because of how the world sees it, and how society has seen it, and how society has made us believe that we're not a part of nature. So you're not living in your own mind. You're not living in your own world. You're living by somebody else's rules. You're living by somebody else's society. You're doing what someone else wanted you to do. You're doing what someone else told you to do. You're being a domesticated animal, just like the animals in the zoo are domesticated. You are a domesticated animal. You are a domesticated human being that is not in its natural environment, that's not eating its natural foods, that's not being one with the planet and being a natural human being as they are as.
Yeah, you're right. I think she is looking off a cue card, because I just seen her look down. See, I didn't notice it the first time when y'all said it. We did a live and somebody said in the chat, she's reading off a cue card. And I edited the video and I didn't even peep it. I was just listening to what she was saying. I don't really pay close attention when I edit these videos with Malia, because she don't really cuss too much. She does now and then, put some spice in it, I guess. But she don't really cuss too much. You got to watch when Zoka gets up there, or Efru. They start cussing and all this. Ooh, Natureboy will be proud of me because I sound like him, cussing and carrying on. And talking about the white supremacists and all this. And they're cussing and using the N-word. But Malia don't really do that too much. But yeah, I think she is reading off a cue card. I just peeped that just now. And I edited this video. And I didn't even notice that. But I think she is. I'm thinking this time she wasn't reading off a cue card, because it doesn't sound like she's teaching knowledge. It just sounds like she's just talking from her fake heart. Because I don't think that they going forward, they're going to have her on there talking the knowledge. Because I know that True and all the rest of the Combination members, they look at our comments and they hear what we say in our lives and videos about Malia, and they don't want us to make a clown out of her. She's supposed to be the queen. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't know what she's talking about, so I hope nobody asks me, because I don't know what to tell you.
We are all supposed to be. And we've come to bring this message because the message is trying to come through your food. The message is trying to come through the sun. The message is trying to come through the water. The message is trying to come through any source, higher source that's around you. Three God has come to bring a message to you, but it's being blocked out. And so how else the message is?
This is what I don't like, and it really, really pisses me off. And I don't like the fact that Malia is really trying to represent that we should acknowledge Natureboy as God. This is how I know she's bat-ish crazy. Because number one, Natureboy is not God. She knows he's not God. So how are you going to try to make us think that he's God? They're all up here trying to make it seem like we should worship the three God. As in, he's the God. Like Nature Boy's been here before the God that we know has been here. I mean, come on, let's make this make sense. How can you expect to get Cash App or for anyone to take you serious for this matter? And you're saying that we should worship Nature Boy and he's God. Like, come on. Seriously. Let's get it together.
It's gonna come if we don't speak it and we don't teach it. The message is inevitable. And that's why so many people astray from this path, because this path is very narrow. This path is very, very different from the rest of the world. This path is one that you will be faced with yourself, and you will be faced with your problems. You'll be faced with dealing with yourself. You'll be faced with everything that you ran from and everything that you tried to cover up, and that you tried to cover up with makeup and try to cover up with clothes, try to cover up with all these designer bags and these designer shoes and just society's way of being. You've covered yourself up with that world and that way of thinking because you've ran from yourself. You've covered up your pains. You've covered up your hurts. You try to cover up everything that you are dealing with and try to make it seem like you aren't going through anything, and try to be holier than thou and try to make yourself seem better than the next person. We're literally all going through the same thing. We're literally all in hell. We're literally all trying to be something we're not and trying to do something we're not. And at the end of the day, you're just going to be hurt, because it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your heart. It's going to weigh your heart. Your heart, when you go to sleep at night, your heart should be light as a feather, but it's not, because you're living impure. You're not living in a natural world. You're not living in tune with your heart's desire and what your heart really wants. You're going against yourself, and you're living against yourself, and you're living against the planet.
Did y'all see the video that I put up? They have a eviction sign now on the front of the property. They didn't before, but they do have one on there now. They're allegedly 2 Asian investors, and I think that they go through a management company to deal with all of this nonsense. You know, they just want money. That's it. They don't want to have to deal with the tenants and nothing like that. I really think that they're living in that place rent-free, because the due date of when they should have left has expired. So they're basically trying to wait to be probably hauled into court. I don't know how long that process is going to take. But when you refuse to leave when there's an eviction, thank you, Betsy, usually you don't have to pay no rent. So I don't know how many months it's going to take, or it might take 30 days. But as long as they are refusing to not leave, and they're past the eviction, the management company is going to have to drag them into court. And when they drag them into court, then the judge will have to order them to leave off that property. So I really wouldn't have put up no for sale sign unless they already went to court and the judge already ruled that they got to get up out that house. But yeah, they're in there, but they're not supposed to be in there. So I really don't know where what's the new due date for them to leave. They're squatters. That's what they call them, squatters, right? They're squatting right now. So yeah, that's crazy.
And soon, the planet is going to come and going to wipe everyone away that's not in tune with it. If you're not an immunity cell on a planet that's waking up other cells in the body, that's sending signals and sending messages and sending codes out to the other cells in your body, then you won't be needed, because you are along with the self-destruction that is upon this earth already. You are doing the very thing that that your lower self is doing, that massa is doing, that the white man is doing, that system is doing. And it's not particularly a white man or a black man. It's the fact that it's the mindset. It's the way you're thinking. It's the level of perspective that you hold. It's the consciousness that you have and that you are tapped into. It's your inability.
I don't understand. I understand that Nature Boy is trying to get free and all that, but you know that Malia is not a public speaker. She gets really uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? And she's sickly. You done made the girl sick. I just don't understand how he just, even the cue cards, why would you let her be on this live download like that? You can tell she's not comfortable. Nobody understands what she's saying. Like, really? It just don't make any sense. And I'm going to tell you something. This is an example of a lazy human being. Someone that don't want to do nothing with their life. She probably doesn't have a choice. She doesn't think that she can go home without feeling embarrassed and ridiculed. So she stays there where she has no responsibility. She ain't got to take care of her son. She ain't got to work a job. She ain't got to be a productive citizen of society. She can, as long as she stays in carbonation, even if Nature Boy's locked up, she doesn't have to do anything except do downloads to help free Nature Boy. And that's really sad. They have 7 days to respond. Okay, so they see, I don't say the channel holder's name on my channel because I don't want them saying I'm saying something about them, trying to do content over here. But when I went to that channel holder's page, I didn't listen to everything. Somebody in the comment section told me to go over to that video, and I was listening to some of it, and they were explaining that there was a sign for eviction, and yeah, so they're squatting right now. So I don't know when they're going to be leaving, but I know it's going to take at least 30 days. When they respond, they still going to have to be pulled into court. So it might take about 30 days before they might see a judge. It might take longer because of the pandemic. I don't know. But yeah, they're still in there.
To see that everyone is you. It's your inability to see that everyone is a mirror and everyone is merely an illusion of your mind and a perspective and an aspect in your mind. And everyone is you, broken up into many pieces, experiencing their reality subjectively from the one totality God, of the one supreme God. We're just broken up in fractal pieces of that one piece, and not everybody is going to awaken to this truth, and not everybody can hear this truth. But that's the message of the Most High Three Gods Angels, to send this broadcast and to send this message out to you, to awaken you and to awaken your genetics, and to get you to really see what was really going on. And it's not about the person, and it's not about the person's character. It's about the message. Did you take the message? Did you take heed to the message? Did you take heed to what we're saying? Did you join the flame of fire? Did you join the indigenous melanated people that are trying to do the right thing and wake up melanated people? Are you in tune with that? Are you one with that? Or are you one with the destruction? Are you perpetuating the same ignorance? Are you doing the same things that your lower self is doing? Are you
say it?
So
say
full
it.
and
She's
so subjective in your own perspective that you are not able to hear another's perspective and not able to hear another person's point of view, that you are not even able to tap into this truth and tap into this dimension of thought, or this perspective of thought, because your mind is so closed off to the truth, and you can't open your mind to see different perspectives or different avenues of truth, because you've held on to something that is not true, and something that keeps you in your comfort, and something that keeps you in doing the same things that you've been doing. It's time to look at yourself. It's not time to point the finger anymore. It's time to actually understand what you're doing for yourself, and actually see what you're doing that's not, and see that what you're doing is not right.
Oh my God. Is it just me? But she's saying what we're not doing is not right. But did she acknowledge all that stuff for about 8 weeks that Nature Boy was doing? That was normal? That was right? Is that what we're supposed to be doing behind closed doors, what Nature Boy was doing to them? Where they stand up against the wall, and whoever's standing next to the other when Natureboy orders you to slap that other person, you slap him. Or when he's making you massage his feet, Malia flip talks him, so you order Zoka to slap her upside the head. I'd rather keep my dysfunctional life, because everybody has dysfunction in their life and in their family. But I'm saying this, I'd rather keep my dysfunction over here. I don't want nobody else's. I'm telling you, because I would not want to live like that. That's inhumane, the way he was treating those people over there. And for her to be caping for him like he's some god, she done lost her mind.
It's just a matter of the inevitable happening of us being exonerated. 3 guys being exonerated for the knowledge that he's speaking and he teaches. He's brought this message to us because it's the truth. It's playing out the truth. It's playing out facts that can be researched and proven with facts. Truthfully, if you go to 3 Guy TV on YouTube, you will clearly see what we stand for and what we do. All of the other shit that y'all talking about, our character and the stuff that's in the tabloids and on the internet, the blogs, the things that people have said about us, the things that people have did, you not truly looking at the information for yourself, but looking at what people have said online. It's you blocking out yourself from connecting with your higher self. So the direct link to your higher self is 3 Guy TV on YouTube. Just go look it up for yourself. Go look at the knowledge for yourself. Go look at what we teach for yourself. It's inevitable that this truth is gonna reign, and this truth is gonna fill the earth with love. Because that's all we are. We are just love. We're just hurting. We're just in our own way. We're not able to see truth. We're not able to see beyond one's perspective. Stockholm syndrome of thinking you're free from that society and that world, but you're not really free because you haven't really opened your mind up to really seeing truth and really seeing what this is. You've created a barrier around yourself that allows you to go so far and do so much. You've created a life for yourself that you've locked yourself away into just doing the bare minimum, into just chasing a dollar and just going to work. But we decided to not do what the rest of the world is doing. We decided not to just go to work and work for 8 hours a day and then have another 8 hours to rest. And then the other 8 hours is supposed to be spent with your children, but it's not spent with your children because your child is being set in front of a...
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, she didn't. Don't you talk about no spending time with your children, honey. You done left your child for a deadbeat man. That man ain't no good. You done left your child for a bum. A man who begs for cash apps. A man who takes people with disabilities checks and all kind of stuff. You left your child for this heifer-reffer. You got him having women slap you upside your head and jumping you. Because you know, but she not only gets slapped upside the head. There's been a few times Natureboy threatened to get a jump by FR, I think, and 𝗪𝗪. I think it was, a couple of times. And she cries. Malia will cry herself out of her, getting her bloop whoop. Malia ain't trying to fight nobody. Malia is not no fighter. I don't want to fight her. I don't want to fight. Go home. You need to go home, child. Don't be talking about what people ain't doing with their kids. This is delusional. Girl, bye. Don't you talk about no motherly instinct that we all have up in this chat that you don't.
A school program that's teaching your child how to think and how to be in their world and in their society.
Oh, no, you
and being taught how to be up under a system that is teaching your children how to be a battery for a system
Even if we don't learn nothing.
that is destroying the very thing that you are supposed to be in tune with. You're teaching your child how to be
thank you, MJ.
in their low self. You can't animals in nature don't go to school. Animal in nature is not taught how to be who they are. There just is. Their program is what it is what it's gonna be. You can't teach someone how to be. You can't teach someone how to live. You can't teach someone how to express themselves. You can't teach anyone any knowledge of self.
And
because it's inevitable.
Thing. That's funny you brought that up. She's sitting up here caping for this dude when this dude literally sent her back home because he was scared of how he did her. That man got her so sick. He got scared. He went from I'm a man, an alpha man, to when she got sick, he went to be a boy. He really went and showed us who he really is. See, when people show you who they are, believe them. And I have to say this in my life too. When people show you who they are, believe them. Don't keep playing around, messing around with a piece of ish. You know I don't cuss, so I'm saying ish. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Because people like that will mess you up right along with them. He sent her back home with an infection that the CDC never even had listed down in the books. That's how nasty they are over there. Trifling. Every time Velvet used to go home, and I'm going to say this again, because I hope that there's some people in this live stream that ain't trying to bring their behind over there when he gets out. She had the same 3 STDs. She immediately, every time she left Natureboy, went straight to the hospital. And she always had the same 3 STDs. Natureboy stays burning, as they call it. That's where I'm from, they call it burning. Put a Y in the chat if where you from, they call it burning too. You know what I'm saying. That dude is sick. The only time I seen that dude go to the hospital to take care of nothing is when his face blew up like a water balloon. Remember when his face blew up from that infection? Come to find out, quiet as kept, the sister had said that I guess Malia had STDs. And then there was one that the CDC didn't know what it was. They didn't have a name for it. And so Natureboy got mad at the sister because she released the texts of him saying, oh, that explains why my face was so swollen. I had an infection. He thought it was from his infected tooth. It was from the STD in his gum. That's why his face looked like that. He had an infection in his mouth. You know, STD from probably, you know how you get it in the mouth. You know, serving her, let's just say that. They're passing that nastiness back and forth. And I don't understand how they don't know over in that house that something ain't quite right. It's got to be some kind of smell that comes from these women and men. And I don't understand how you sit up and lay up with somebody that's nasty and funky and trifling like that. That just don't make no sense to me.
Look at me. I grew up in a world around
what?
My Babylon family, but I'm not like my Babylon family. I don't think like my Babylon family. I'm not stuck in that world.
Oh, you stuck.
My genes are awoken. My genes awoken to this truth. My genes awoken when the sun was at its highest peak one summer. I woken up to this truth. And I realized that when I was in that world, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I going to work? Why am I working for somebody else? Why is the person that I'm working for not even here? And I'm working for this person. And this person is off on a goddamn yacht, enjoying themselves, jumping off a goddamn boat into the beautiful oceans on a beach.
Ooh, that's a bad hit, Kimmy.
Relaxing, chilling, ain't worrying about nothing. But we are at their job. We're at their place of work or their place of business, and we're working for them, and we're
Y'all
working for
didn't hear me because I muted
working
myself
for
by an accident.
$8.
But smelling like she got MRSA down in her yoni. I know somebody had got MRSA, and they said it's ooh, child. Ooh. I thought about that, Kimmy, when you said dead flesh, because dead flesh smells. Woo. That's what I heard. I heard dead bodies smell. And
30 cents an hour for somebody else's dream, for somebody else's
I know that's crazy. Queen getting in the plane.
For somebody else's lifestyle and their dream that they wanted for themselves. We're doing that, but we're not truly happy. And so people walking around lying to themselves. People walking around in a false illusion and a false reality
like
that they saying they like, or they saying they want to be one with, but you don't want to live in that world. You're struggling, trying to make ends meet, trying to make your life you're struggling to make ends meet. You're struggling to pay your bills. You're struggling to have somebody to take care of your family or your children while you at work. You're struggling to pay your car note. You're struggling to keep your lights on. You're struggling, and the only truth is this knowledge. Because first of all,
you're struggling too. That's why you guys are squatting. Get up out of that Airbnb or that rental, whatever, which one it is. Why are you squatting in people's stuff? Y'all should have been on out of there talking about girl bye.
Store not your treasures in heaven, but store not your treasures in the earthly possessions, but store your treasures in heaven. See, you're storing your treasures in the earthly possessions, and reality doesn't truly exist. Because when you take it down that night, you're not taking any of this with you. You're not taking your children with you. You're not taking this reality with you. You're not taking that house with you. You're not taking that car with you. You're not taking those possessions with you. You're not taking none of that with you but your mind. What have you done to condition your mind to live in truth? Have you even started to condition your mind? Have you even started to get out of that system and do something different and live different and be a different individual and do something different? Have you tried to live a different life? Have you tried to eat different? Have you tried to watch something different? Have you tried to intake different knowledge? Have you just tried to do something different? Or are you still doing the same things that you've been doing, that your mom been doing, that your dad been doing? Because the people that I left are literally doing the same things, and they are miserable in their lives. They won't tell it to you. They won't say it, because black people have a thing about themselves that they don't want to see. They don't want other people to know that they aren't doing so good. So they're going to try to hide it and cover it up and have this ignorance about themselves and this pride about themselves that keeps them in ignorance and keeps them in a mindset that keeps them away from truth. They're going to pretend like they are doing good. They're going to pretend like things are going well for them. But in reality, it's not going well. Everybody's hurting. Everybody's suffering. Everybody's is going around the situation that they made for themselves. They're going around that and trying to things and try to live a different life. But the reality that they made for themselves, they stuck in that reality. They either stuck with their husband because they don't want to end the marriage, because they made children. They put all their energy and their time and their effort into that relationship and into that marriage, that when it's time to leave and they feel it in their heart that this is over, that we can't go further than where we're at, they just stay in it. They stay stuck in it. They stay stagnant. And they live their life based on a lie. They live their life based on false illusions and false illusions that they've created around being in that relationship. So you are trying to be happy. You're trying to live out a life that that somebody else wants you to live, but you're not truly happy, and you feel it in your heart that you're not happy, but you're gonna continue to live that life to please other people and appease other people and make other people happy, and gain the recognition from other people, and gain the acknowledgement of other people. But in reality, you're not one with yourself. You're not loving what you're doing for yourself. You're not happy yourself. So you're going to continue to project that reality that you don't like, and you're going to continue to get the same shit back because you're not doing anything different. You're not trying to change your lifestyle. You're not trying to switch anything up. You're not trying to do anything different because you're stuck and you're stagnant, and you're going to continue to be stagnant. You're going to continue to be stuck until you try to do something different and change your state of being, and change your state of mind, and change, because all is mental. It's a simple thing of just changing your state of being, and getting out of the situation that you're in, and changing that, and doing something different. But a lot of people, they don't want to do that. A lot of people, they don't want to change. They don't want to be in a different situation because it's new for them. And if something new is being presented to them, they begin to start fearing. They begin to be like, oh, well, where I'm gonna sleep, and what I'm gonna eat, and where I'm gonna lay my head, and where I'm gonna get my funds, and where I'm gonna get all of these things at. But look at the birds in the field. Their Heavenly Father feeds them. They don't worry yet, and their Heavenly Father still feeds them. The Heavenly Father still provides for them. It still gives them the food that they need, the nourishment that they need, the sunlight, the water, the food that they need, the abundance that they need from nature. You still get that, and you still will receive that, because nature is your covenant. Nature is your safe haven. Nature is your home. Nature is where you reside. Nature is where all your resources come from that are in your convenience stores. They just and they just made it with preservatives and additives, and they've made a world around nature, and they've created a synthetic world around nature, an unnatural world around nature, and they've created this world, and they've created human beings in their world, which are you. They've created their human beings, and they continue to recreate human beings for their world and for their system. They're creating, it's the mind that system is creating. It's not necessarily physically that anything is going on. It's the mindset. It's the way the people are thinking. It's the school systems. It's the medical systems. It's your institutions. It's all of that has created a fear-based world, and it has put these stigmas into your mind, and these thoughts and perspectives into your mind, to think that that's what you're supposed to be doing, and that's how you're supposed to be living, and that's how you're supposed to be.